Hi there, this is Lizzie from Lizzie's Dressing Table. I want to welcome you to my next video. I hope you are all doing well and are staying warm during this winter if you are in a colder climate. So today I am going to talk about the perfumes that I received from myself, because I actually don't mind purchasing gifts for myself because I know exactly what I'm going to get. But these are items that I received, but they came last Christmas. So if you don't mind slow poke reviews, and I figured perhaps some of you don't, because it has given me a chance to wear everything here that I received and to really determine if I like these scents. So maybe there's a benefit to doing reviews of perfumes a year after you get them, rather than talking about something that has just dropped and you've only sprayed once or twice. So first of all, and I want to know who amongst the viewers know about TokyoMilk, Objects to Desire. I have been familiar with this brand for a lot of years, and there's a place that I go to in Detroit called the Peacock Room, and I mentioned it a couple of videos back. But I always admired TokyoMilk's packaging. They have really some of the most beautiful designs, such as this one. This is Honey in the Moon Bon Shea Butter Lotion. So this was actually the first item that I ever purchased from TokyoMilk. I had resisted purchasing their items for years because I thought, well, it's kind of a frivolous thing to purchase, but I don't really think perfume is frivolous anymore. So first, amongst this kit of 6 little colognes or perfumes. I think they're perfumes. Let me check. Well, it doesn't say, but they're all pretty light. They last maybe about 4 to 5 hours if we're lucky. But the first scent, and I'm not going to cover absolutely everything from the kits that I received because we would be here for like hours. But first scent, have any of you smelled Honey in the Moon? This is something that contains sweet honey, sugared violet, jasmine, and sandalwood. And I'm just going to quickly smell that. So this smells really good. And I noticed that there is a difference between the cologne and the hand lotion. The hand lotion smells quite marshmallowy, just your typical sugary marshmallow scent that is pretty ubiquitous today. And the cologne itself lasts a good amount of time. The hand lotion, I think, is more long lasting. And it's something that I kind of like to wear to bed. And it just comes in really cute packaging too. And Honey in the Moon is considered an oriental spicy for men and women. Now, honestly, I don't know of many men who would wear something like this. It's marshmallowy, but it's also pretty sweet too. So, but hey, if that's your jam, good for you. Go for it. I'm finding the more scents that I smell, the more I really like men's scents. So, hey, you do you. But just so you know, it was launched in 2003. So, yeah, I'm a straggler to a lot of perfumes. And I don't see a lot of people reviewing TokyoMilk products. So I wanted to give them a shout out because there are scents that I absolutely love from their collection. And so the next one that I want to talk about is, and let me make sure I've got the right one, Savage Belle. Savage Belle has warm ginger, bergamot, charcoal accord, and wisteria. Going to give it a quick sniff. This was launched in 2021, and it's really, really different. I find that this is a scent that I can pair with other scents. It's versatile. I didn't notice that it lasted more than like 3-4 hours, but it's a really nice scent. So that has my vote. It's just very different. Warm ginger is not a scent note that I smell very often, and so for that reason, I give it a thumbs up. And the next scent that I wanted to talk about is Kabuki. Oop. Now, I first remember seeing this bottle of perfume in an antique shop in Illinois. My husband and I went on a trip to Perfume Passage Museum. Now, if any of you are really into historical scents, that's the place to go to. It's on an estate about an hour outside of Chicago, and it's absolutely amazing. There's YouTube videos about Perfume Passage. It's on the San Filippo estate. But anyway, I saw this scent, and it was pretty much a full bottle in an antique store close to Perfume Passage. Now, there was no date as far as when this launched, but this contains lychee, sugared grapefruit, sweet jasmine, and warm vanilla. And it's a pretty light scent and one I really like. So, and what's handy about TokyoMilk is they usually list all their ingredients. And then the scent that actually is not in this collection, but it's one of the full bottles that I purchased, and it is TokyoMilk's, and this requires two hands here. This is La Vie L'Amour Eau de Perfume, and it's from their dark collection, and I absolutely love this scent. It's got white tuberose, cardamom, hibiscus leaf, and jasmine. And really, it was the first scent or perfume that I smelled where I picked up that tuberose. And this perfume just hooked me on tuberose. I could not get enough of that scent in just all its varieties. And not only did I purchase this perfume, but I also bought probably what some might consider the queen of all tuberose scents, Robert Piguet's Freca, which was created, and I'll put it in the description box or the information on the video. I think it was created in the 50s. I know it was created by Germaine Cellier, who was one of the few female perfumers around at that time. Just a gorgeous, gorgeous scent. So, although I think La Vie L'Amour in some aspects is a richer scent than Freca, but both are wonderful. I also have TokyoMilk's Bulletproof, which I think is more geared towards men. It includes smoked tea, coconut milk, crushed cedar, and ebony woods. And, you know, these scents go for between $55 and $60, so it's not very expensive. You do see them in smaller boutique shops, and it was really one of the first scents that I ever purchased that was geared more towards men. So for me, it was a real departure. So there's that. Hopefully I'm not digressing too much from the subject at hand, but I wanted to give a shout out to TokyoMilk because it's just not something that I see much at all. It has been reviewed by other reviewers, but wanted to show some love for them. So I'm just going to put this kit back together, and the kit was not very expensive, and I think it's probably on sale, not on sale, discounted, but for sale this year. And like I said, it usually comes with the ingredients on the back. So yeah, a really nice uh, variety of scents. So there's that for TokyoMilk. And so moving on to a niche brand. I read two books by Luca Turin and his wife, Tanya Sanchez. And they put out a book in 2010 detailing so many perfumes just through the ages up until 2010, and also their book that they released in 2018, just about lots and lots of perfumes. And I'll tell you, both books were really, really educational to me. So this is, their books were the first to really introduce me to Etat Libre d'Orange. And hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. I apologize to any French people who might be watching this. So like a lot of people who are curious about the brand, which is also known as Eldo for short, I purchased a scent sampler last year, and it comes with 20 sample scents. Now, it is something that I purchased after I purchased one of their smaller bottles of perfume. And some people would say, Fat Electrician, are you kidding me? I did actually read about Fat Electrician in Turin and Sanchez's second book, which goes up to the date of 2018 as far as perfumes. And so I went to the Scent Bar in New York City. It's in Soho. And just, it's a place that you can go to and ask them about different scents. If they have it, they'll bring it to you to the counter, and you can take a sample. And I really said to myself, who would purchase a perfume called Fat Electrician? But let me tell you, I sprayed this and I thought, this is legitimately a really great scent. It's mostly, as it says, semi-modern vetiver. Now, I don't have the ingredients in my notes, but I will put them in the video. But this is very sweet, very smoky, and it's a little bit sweeter than some of the other vetiver scents that I've smelled, such as Guerlain's vetiver. But I thought, there is something to this company. It's not just wacky perfumes, wacky names on perfumes, but legitimately they have some really beautiful scents, and I wanted to learn more. So I purchased this kit, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through my absolute favorite 6 scents. You do get, 20 vials. And this kit did actually include Fat Electrician too, but I thought, I like it. And having these vials is not only a great way to test these scents and figure out what you like, but to, have something that you can put into a travel bag, a purse. So the first one that I really enjoy is perfume that was created by perfumers Antoine Lee and Antoine Maisondieu. It's a floral unisex scent, and it was launched in 2007. It's got top notes of ginger, bitter orange, and black pepper. The middle notes are Turkish rose, jasmine, heliotrope, and the base is patchouli, benzoin, and tonka bean. Now, this has really remained on fabric all day. I sprayed it today, and so I just want to mention that the review that I gave with this vial is actually the review for Story of Your Life, not Eau Protection. I got completely mixed up, complete amateur mistake, but wanted to let you know that the review that continues after this, that will be for Story of Your Life. So I apologize for the mix-up, and I should mention that the review for Eau Protection is this is a really spicy scent with the ginger, bitter orange, and black pepper. And it was very spicy. I could smell it on my clothes pretty much all day. And so, yeah, if you like zesty, spicy, citrusy scents, you may like this. So, thanks for bearing with me. It's got that very strong, astringent top note that I smell a lot in perfumes. It almost smells kind of like pepper, but there is something very warm and comforting underneath the scent. So I really like this. And this was actually the very first perfume that I smelled from this sampler. It was launched in 2024, so it's a relatively new scent. Considered unisex, the top notes are benzoin and davana or davana. I've heard it pronounced a couple of times. I went into a Joe Malone shop and they kindly corrected me. But anyway, the middle notes are bread and orange blossom. And then the base is rum, vanilla, woody notes, amber, cocoa, and patchouli. And when I read that on Fragrantica, I said, yes, please. So I'm smelling a sharp top note in this too, but this is just very, very comforting. And as I'm wrangling these touches, I give this a little spray. Yeah, it smells to me very buttery, spicy a bit, but a really lovely, comforting scent, gourmand, as you can tell from the notes. And as I'm doing this in the winter, it's a perfect scent for the winter. So yeah, I really love that scent. So moving on, this is the Ghost in the Shell, which is completely different from what I have ever smelled. I probably wore this in February of this year. And I remember it was just a very gray, colorless day. And to me, this scent just really fitted the vibe perfectly. You know, a cold winter day, Ghost in the Shell. It's named after a movie. And what's interesting about it is that it's really considered a fusion between biotech and natural materials. So it was launched in 2021, considered unisex, like a lot of Etat Libre d'Orange's scents are considered. The top notes, and some of these are interesting notes. It's aqual, AQUAL, yuzu, and hexyl acetate. And so I didn't look up what hexyl acetate is, but I will put it in the video screen. The middle notes are milk, skin, and I'm not kidding, skin. I don't know what that means. It's got a rather diabolical ring to it, though, doesn't it? Jasmine and Mugain is like muguet or lily of the valley in English. The base is organox vinyl guaiacol, which is a component that is created by Maine Biochemical, and moss. So to me, this smells like an interesting combination of like milk and pepper. It's just so unusual. It's soft. It's non-obtrusive, and it's, when I sprayed it, and I still remember it, it just smells very, very skin-like. So I like it. Are any of you familiar with The Ghost in the Shell? Have any of you seen the movie? I'm not familiar with that movie. I haven't ever seen it. But let me know. And please let me know what Eldo scents you like. I certainly welcome your comments about the scents I like, what you don't like, and just in general, what you think about the collection. So the next scent is called Soul of My Soul. And I could be wrong, but I think the wife of Antoine Maison created this. But I'll look that up and I'll make sure I'm not misleading you guys. So I'm going to spray this. So Soul of My Soul. It's Oriental Spicy Unisex. It was launched in 2020. The top notes are incense, bergamot, and pink pepper, which I can smell the pink pepper. The middle notes are suede, orris, and rose, and the base is Australian sandalwood, musk, Madagascar vanilla, benzoin, and tonka bean. Now, I'm a huge fan of Madagascar vanilla. So this is not a scent that is controversial. A quiet scent, really nice. And, you know, I'd like to say I was here or there, specific spot or clothing that I wore this with, but really I work from home. So actually part of the delight of just sitting at home doing work is to smell yourself. And maybe that sounds a little weird, but I love to try new scents every single day. And with the sampler set, I think anyone who was curious or is curious about Etat Libre d'Orange has purchased this sampler. And they usually will give you 15% off any scent that you might want to purchase after you get the kit. But I had already purchased that electrician. So I'm still trying to decide. And then moving on, the next one that is really a favorite of mine is, and I'm going to knock into the camera a little bit. It's actually called Ode to Frustration, or no, I'm sorry, it's just Frustration. Now, I didn't know the notes of this, haha, as I was taking my notes to prepare for this video, but I will just give this a spray. And again, it's another sort of gourmandy scent. And I think with the information that I read online, and I think it was Etienne de Swart who created this. If you want to laugh, go online and read some of the background notes on these fragrances, his inspiration, the story behind some of these scents, which I think is sometimes purely fiction. They're absolutely hilarious. It's a good scent. The names are hilarious. Sous le pont Mirabeau refers to the Mirabeau Bridge. There's another scent, You or Someone Like You. Poutine de Palaces, which I'm sure you can imagine poutine and what that means in French. You've got Remarkable People, She Was an Anomaly, Divine Enfant, Clean Suede, which is also a wonderful scent. It used to be known as Tom of Finland, beautiful leather scent. I Am Trash, which is a floral, but it's basically created from recycled materials. The container is recycled. Archive 69, which not sure what that refers to, but Experimentum Crucis, Nastos, Exit the King, and Spice Must Flow. So this is a really nice kit. I'm sure this year they have changed out some of the scents, but a really good investment if you are curious about the perfume house from France. Here's the back, which doesn't have much to it, but it's a wonderful gift and not expensive either. So yeah. And then as a final selection, and I'm trying to position myself as a lover of vintage scents. And yes, I do love vintage scents, but I also love the modern scents too. And I am strictly a very democratic sniffer. I'm curious about all scents, really. And since I began experimenting with perfume and just, the perfumes that I wear, I really like a lot of different scents. So the more you educate your nose, the more you find out that you like. But anyway, going back to a classic is Elizabeth Arden's Blue Grass. I was walking through Macy's one day and saw this. I know that this is from 1935 and was just really curious about what it smelled like. So Elizabeth Arden's Blue Grass, and actually it was launched in 1936. So this is a floral green scent. The top notes are aldehydes, lavender, geranium, lily, bergamot, orange blossom, and neroli. Middle notes are carnation, lavender, spices, clove, narcissus, bay leaf, jasmine, tuberose, and rose. And the base is benzoin, sandalwood, vetiver, musk, cedar, and tonka bean. So it's got quite a lot of components to it. But this one is really pretty cheap online. You can find this on where we all shop, Amazon. And I think that I probably paid maybe $25 for this, although actually I'm fibbing. I didn't pay anything for this. I was kindly gifted this by my aunt. So just a really nice scent. To me, it very much reminds me of if you were back in the 70s and 80s, um, Herbal Essences shampoo. And the smells to me so summery. And I'm reminded of using that perfume in the 70s. I think the tagline was, it contains balsam and protein. But I sprayed this and I left the room and then came back maybe 5-10 minutes later, and I caught the most beautiful floral note in it. It is pretty spicy as far as being powdery, but it's just really, really beautiful. And I know that they sell it in deodorant form too, but yeah, I really like the scent. It's not one I reach for often, but I'm really glad that I have this in my collection. This was a perfume I actually heard about at Perfume Passage Museum, and at that museum, the owners have different scents that they have just samples of, and they were telling us on the tour group that there was a elderly gentleman who toured their museum, and took a whiff of bluegrass and just started to cry because it was a scent that his mother used to wear. So that's what I love about perfume is it brings back memories. It's a direct link to your past. And as I've said in my previous videos, I have a pretty good collection of scents that my grandmother and my mother wore because I want to remember them whenever I spray a particular perfume that they wear. So anyway, yeah, those are some of the gifts that I received last Christmas. Are you familiar with any of these scents? Are you familiar with Etat Libre d'Orange? Do you know about bluegrass? Do you know about TokyoMilk? Have you purchased any of their scents? They've been around for quite a while. I love their packaging. But please leave a comment in the comment section. I would love to know your thoughts. What did you receive last Christmas or Hanukkah or Kwanzaa or whatever holiday that you celebrate? What are you hoping to receive this year? I've got like about 3 perfumes that I'm hoping to receive, but I'm showing a little bit of self-restraint and not purchasing really anything for myself this year. I'm hoping my loved ones will drop some things in my stockings. So thank you so much for watching my video. I want to share my love of perfume. So I'm so glad that you joined me for this video. If you like my video, please give it a thumbs up. Please consider subscribing to my channel if you like my content. I think this is video number 9. And I'm just going to keep going. So thank you again, and I will catch you on my next video. See you later, kind people. Bye-bye.